Hello, people, not it is I, another name BT, here to announce and show off and explain the newest collection of cards, character, and set that's coming up in 3 days. Though the event is currently going on for the release of Yo Rush Duel Links Roa event. Yay! If you don't know, Roa is part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's cast, and he plays a fiend deck called Royal Rebels. This is a very interesting deck, along with a bunch of new fun little cards inside the main set. And I'm going to help by explaining a lot of the main points that you want to keep an eye on for if you're playing more seriously, or if you're more of a casual player, I might point out a few things here and there. So first off, in the collection of new stuff, this is his event rewards. This is currently what the items you can currently get. And two of the newest cards is Royal Rebel Growl and Pyle's Gargoyle. Now, these two are very older cards, of course. They are not used in card format, but in current terms, these are very important for his strategy. Specifically, Pyle's Gargoyle, with the effect of sending a card in the grave, increases level by 1 to the end of the turn, making itself level 5, making it a perfect card to activate basically all current Royal Rebel cards that exist right now require a level 5 or higher monster as tribute. This can just be a normal summon, discard any card you don't need, then you can sack it off for any monster with a powerful effect. This is something that you definitely need 3 copies of. And if you're playing more of a casually, a little bit more budget, then you probably should be grinding for 3 copies of Growl, since that's kind of your best out and most generic out in the way. These two cards together, pretty decent, though in long term, Growl won't make much of a difference, and Gargoyle will somewhat die out depending on what other cards we get. But for as of right now, Gargoyle is going to be one of the main cards you need for Royal Rebel. And Growl is not as important, but I do suggest probably getting 3 copies of it in case it does come up in the current format. And here we have the new mini box. Yay! Heavy Metal Scream, the first mini box of Rush Duel Links. Yay! Now, this is going to be a little bit smaller. I believe it's going to also be cheaper, though you don't quote me on that. But there are a lot of very good cards in this set. So first off, of course, the main Your cards, I want to say the primary card you want to focus on getting this set is definitely Ghost Cyclone. Ghost Cyclone is one of the strongest and most played back row removal cards currently in Rush Duel. It's basically an upstart goblin if you have 3 or less monsters in grave, but you can only use it when you have no monsters on field. That is an incredibly easy condition to apply, especially when a lot of decks are focused around clearing your board completely. This is basically a free draw and a way to easily get through back row removal without having to go -1 or go 1 for 1. This basically lets you go technically +1 in a sense, because you get to remove back row, but in mathematical sense is +0. It's an upstart. It's a really good upstart. This is definitely the main card of the set you want to get. Out of everything else in the set, this is definitely the best card that will have the longest lifespan out of anything else here. Maybe, give or take. There is like 1 or 2 cards that might be better in the future. Well, we'll get to those. After that, we do have our other URs, which are not as amazing, because we have Ancient Rise Dragon. This card isn't really that strong, but if you are looking for another Dragon Boss, this is definitely an option, especially with a very unique pop effect. Though this also does have a skill which I'll get into later once I get down the line. You also have Bindor Break, the Conqueror. Not a very good card, though you can set him. He is a 2500 defense body. Still not that amazing. Though you can make somewhat of a control deck around him, and we do actually have the option to place Beast Summoner, which allows you to special summon him from hand for free. Still not that great. But this is the main card that is probably going to be competitive at the current moment, which is Royal Rebel Heavy Metal. Tribute over a level 5 monster, or level 5 or higher monster, and then you can pop 1 level 8 or lower monster your opponent controls with the lowest attack. Then this card, destroy that monster, and it gains the attack of that monster. This is going to be huge OTK potential. Or this is going to have huge OTK potential, because if your opponent just happens to have a Dragios on field, you can pop the Dragios. This gains 2500 attack, it becomes 500 poke directly. This is a huge removable material, though it is on release limit 3. That means you can't play more than 3 copies combined of limit 3 cards. So this is going to be something you're going to be more dedicated to in a deck, though this is very powerful and actually has seen some competitive success playing it alongside something like Spellcaster. So you can play this in your Spellcaster deck, tripping over a Witch, tripping over Seven's Row Magician, get some extra damage in there. Just a lot of strong poking, so there's a lot of flexibility in this, along with the other cards that come with it. Some of the newer cards that we are actually very surprised, because these are very modern cards. Seraph of Darkness, basically Book of Moon for any dark deck. It's in long term, it doesn't see much play, especially since it is only flipping level 8 or lower, though currently in Duel Links we don't have any maximum monsters, we don't have fusion monsters, so everything's level 8 or lower. So depending on the format, this could be a very good card, though especially in Royal Rebels right now, you can use it as a way to get over things. You know, like opposing heavy metal only has 0 defense, psychics have basically no defense as well, but if you're fighting a Yami Ruler or Dragias, it's going to be less effective. Though if you're looking for another budget option, this is definitely going to help you get over a lot of those big boss monsters with your small mid-level tributes if you're playing Fiends or any other dark deck. Piercing Samurai, this is going to be a good card in the future, not currently. Basically, once it gets more into pace, getting faster and all that, you're going to easily get 3 monsters on field, including a high-level warrior monster, and give it Piercing. This is good for future potential OTK strategies. In the current moment, this isn't that amazing, but it is still a pretty decent card for late in the future. Guitarist, not a great card. Though we did actually recently get some friend support cards that are based around this card, and a lot of the other cards like it. It's still not that great. If you want to play it in your Psychic deck, it is an option. It is better than playing 3 copies of Esperade, I will say. So, you know, if you want to get this, it's fine. It's a decent option, different option to be playing any other Psychic level 7. Dark Ruler, the Battle Slash, it's a battle trap for warriors. We're not going to really care much about it. You know, minus, or the attacking monster loses 400 attack, you know, that's another battle trap. That's pretty good. And then, you know, if you have a high-level warrior, you can pop a Spawn Trap. I mean, if you want to focus around Yami Ruler control, this is definitely a very decent card to be playing. Though, you know, as said before, you might want to be worried. We do have a Ghost Cyclone, we do have Hammer Crush, we do also have other MST, so it's going to be a little bit on the lower side. But that still doesn't deter it from being a good card. Yeah. Speedy Performer, you're going to be amazed by hearing this. This has actually seen a lot of competitive play. So Speedy Performer basically just mills the top card and a monster gains 400 attack. That means your Dragias can gain 400 attack, your Yami Ruler can gain 400 attack. That's basically it. So giving any high-level monster or any monster in general 400 extra attack means that they can get over a lot of these big bodies. So, you know, if your opponent might have set a monster, it could have been Conqueror, you have a 25 against their 25, you can't kill it. But normal summoning out Speedy Performer can easily get any boss monster over it, as long as they have 2200 or more attack. So this is definitely something that you want in general, because this is going to be this is a really good stat booster. It's really powerful, and it basically has no cost. So yeah, if you're looking more ways to make your Dragia strategy faster, this is definitely a good card for it. I don't like suggesting it, but I can't ignore that this is an amazing, or this is a very good card currently in the format. Music Princess Recital, I'm amazed they added this. Effectively, if a level 8 or lower monster declares attack while you have exactly 1 monster in the field, negate the attack. This is a very good card if you plan, or if like the rest of your board is about to get cleared and you have 1 less monster and you don't want to get slapped by a Dragia's second attack. You can flip this over and negate the attack. It's actually pretty good. I don't know, I would probably say 1 to 2 copies in your deck. If you want to go for 3, that's probably fine. But if competitively and a budget option, you're perfectly fine playing 1 copy of this, because a large sum of the time you're going to be focusing on swarming your board. You don't realistically need to have multiple of these, because it can actually brick you. This is a big one. Royal Rebels Rocker. The turn is normal summon, add back 1 level 6 or higher fiend from the grave to your hand, but you can't attack directly this turn. So keep that in mind, that you can't attack directly the turn you activate this effect. But this is very powerful. You can get back Route, or you can get back Heavy Metal. You can also get back Summon Skull. Ooh. So yeah, this is basically the another form of Phoenix Dragon, which is very good. This is definitely something you need multiple copies of. 2 copies to 3 copies, I would probably suggest. 2 copies is probably fine, though. If you're playing like a full power Fiend deck, maybe 3 copies is pretty good, because this enables everything on its own. You just need 1 other small body, but it gets back the main monsters that you're going to be using to tribute over it to use this effect. This is definitely one of the main SRs that you're going to be focusing on this box, besides, you know, Speedy Performer. We have Beast Summoner. It's not currently great. Effectively, your opponent has a high level monster, special summon one level 7 or lower beast, beast warrior, or winged beast from your hand by tributing it. It's okay. In future strategies, sure, it might be good. In if you're playing Volkendor, this can definitely support your Volkendor deck. So, you know, if you're, once again, if you're a budget player and you win all in on the Volkendor deck, the first release, this is your main support card. This is going to take away from a lot of your needs for low-level tributes, allowing you to put in more powerful back row or any other staples that you happen to want to fit in your deck. So, you know, it's not going to be very powerful, especially with a large more different options, especially now that a new dark focus deck is coming out against Volkendor, but the skill is still pretty good. Red Eyes Black Chick. This is going to come up later, but we're going to have a Red Eyes release event. Yay. Well, basically you log in, you get Red Eyes Black Dragon, but this is not great, no. And called the Earthbound Limited 3. It's not fantastic. Basically, if you're playing a high defense control deck, you can use it alongside Conqueror, change the attack target, switch over Conqueror, and then, you know, it has high defense, so your monster's not going to die. If you want to play more of a control deck, that's fine. Just remember, Ghost Cyclone exists. The rest of the cards are not too phenomenal, I must say. Having Fire Arumu, I don't know how to say the name, sorry. General Pyromonster, not great. Pukamachu, I'm actually pretty interesting. It is a beast extender, yay. If you have no other monster in the field, place a beast from the grave to the bottom of the deck, add a beast normal monster in the grave to the hand. So this is effectively an extender for any beast deck. This is probably in cahoots with Conquerors. But this is a very decent, actually, this is actually a very good extender. If you just have general beast monsters like All-Seeing White Tiger, you can add it back to hand, get an extra tribute. You can even use it as a tribute engine if you want. Though I wouldn't suggest it fully, but it is an option. Because, you know, Aqua Seahorse is still significantly better. We have The Barrier for all of you, the Lukeman fans, or the Luke fans, or Luke fans in general. It's another battle trap. Basically, shuffle a monster back in the deck. When your opponent's monster declares attack, it loses 400 attack to the end of the turn. Ooh. This is definitely something that we somewhat needed. It's 400 attack is not completely enough to get over Heavy Metal and Seven's Row Magician, but if you're going against, let me think of his name, Dragias, it is somewhat enough to get by him. It's not going to be the main, it's not that powerful, but definitely if you're, once again, looking for budget, this is better than nothing. You're probably going to be playing 1 or 2 copies of this, shuffle back a card you really want in your deck. If you don't have any card recovery, then that's effectively it. We got a new level 4 1500 beater, which is basically, this is the Star Knight, a very fun side series. Just a Fiend beater, that's it. You have a Dream Drummer. It shuffles back a Psychic grave in the deck. Then you shuffle a monster from your opponent's grave back in the deck, and you have a normal monster, gain 500. The main idea behind this one is it's part of the V-Friends series with Guitarist. You don't really care about much of its effect other than it's recycling your own monsters. Having monster recycling currently in Duel Links is not very existent outside of Recovery Force. So this is a very nice card to have for Psychic, but it's not going to be it's not going to really help out Psychic and make them higher tiered and consistent, but this is definitely something that they would really appreciate. And there is actually a skill that will help you make this card a lot better. You can even shuffle back your Roman pick. But I will say what makes this even better later. I know I said it's not amazing, but now we have the Blazing Dragon and the Ice Dragon duo, which is part of the Ancient Dragon series with Ancient Arise Dragon. Effectively, they both don't really do much. They are just needed in the grave to activate Arise Dragon's effect. But while you control Blaze Dragon, destroy field spell cards on the field. Not very great. Even in a format where field spells are played, it's not phenomenal. And meanwhile, Ice Dragon's actually pretty decent. Place a level 5 or lower dragon in the grave in the bottom deck. Shuffle 2 monster opponent's grave in the deck. Now, it's once again not that powerful effect, but any sort of graveyard interruption based effect, removing materials that your opponent may want in the graveyard, it's pretty decent. And it is a side deck option if you're playing in a tournament with siding against Fiends, because, you know, Fiends do have Punker, which is going to get, or Rocker, sorry, I remember those CG names. It will greatly affect them. Of course, you also have Aeschylus the Star Knight, you have Silver Wolf Wizard, basically just boost a beast attack or boost a monster's attack if you have another phase of beast in the field. It's not phenomenal. It's not great. Archfiend Summoning Flute. The main concept around this is basically you tribute it and then you special summon out Achilles, and then you can use Achilles to sack it off for any of the Royal Rebels to gain the additional effects. It's not phenomenal. It can summon back any normal monster. Summoning back summons won't work now, because it does summon it in defense mode. Summon Skull is going to be very defenseless. That's why you just want to use Rocker to add back Summon Skull most of the time. And then Ramic and Roll, another part of the V-Front series. It is not great. It's not good. And then for the common cards, we have Flavor Inspector. This is definitely something you want 3 copies of, because later in the future, this card will be an important part of multiple fusion strategies. This is the main fusion material for 2 different decks, and it is extremely important. You want 3 copies of it. Luckily, it's a common, so you will more likely get more than 3 copies. Oh, a very good thing to point out. So we have Descendant of Titans and Babysitter Goat, 2 level 1 Fiend monsters. You're going to be wanting these for later once you see the King Spawn Trap cards. Speaking of which, King's Reward, place a Fiend or shuffle a Fiend from your grave to your deck. That is level 1. Pop a level 6 or lower monster in your opponent's field. If you do, your opponent draws a card. You can't attack directly this turn. This isn't the main reason that you want to play these cards, though. If you want to use it, it is a way to remove a monster that your opponent controls, and you don't really have that many other cards to choose from. So basically you can choose to pop a low level monster that allows your heavy metal to destroy a higher level monster with more attack and deal more damage. You won't be playing this. The card that you want to be focusing on for these level 1s will be shown later. Chusuke, the Mouse Fighter, not very good currently, because you don't really need... I mean, if you're playing Pakuchu, sure, he's playable. Gamir the Lone Wolf and Follow the Dark Wisdom, both vanillas for return. No. The Noodle Art of Roastery. This is a very fun card. If you're playing Pyro, be very happy. This is another way to boost stats for her. That's basically it. You boost stats to Pyro monsters. We still are waiting for another good high-level Pyro monster, but this is definitely something that will help make it even easier. Though the currently noodles can easily get up to about, for the low level monsters, about 1700 before they probably die. This is going to help them boost it up a little bit more. Double block, not worth it. Very interesting one. We're getting introduced Sports Dragons. I know a lot of people love sports. It's Sports Dragon Defender and Sports Dragon Keeper. No. 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 Just no. No. One-sided reverse and Feral Imp. That is going to be the main set. But yes, as said before, the main cards you want to be focusing on this set is definitely Go Cyclone. In terms of current format, you definitely want Royal Rebel Heavy Metal, Piercing Samurai, Rocker, Recital, and also Speedy Performer. Those are definitely some of the cards you want to be focusing on this deck, or on this set. But if you're playing a control deck, you probably want to call the Earthbound instead. And here we have the very excited highlight cards, which are going to be the new bundle cards. Yay! The 2 new bundles have 2 new legend cards, a legend spell and trap. So first up, we have Widespread Ruin, which is basically a battle trap that destroys a monster with the highest attack on your opponent's field. So basically heavy metal, but this is definitely going to be a very common card you're going to be seeing in competitive Duel Links, or in the ladder, or in general. It's a card that you can easily get from bundle, which they're about 850 gems if I'm correct. I don't know fully for Duel Links. I don't remember how much the previous one cost for Summon Skull. But this is still going to be very easily accessible to everyone. This is something that you're more likely always going to be seeing in the game, something that you definitely want to keep your hands on. Because until we get a stronger Legend Trap, this is definitely going to be something you're going to be seeing in a lot of games. Other than that, we do have Monster Reincarnation, which is basically add back a monster from grave to your hand. It's not very strong. It's not something that I'm going to suggest that people go for entirely, but if you're a budget player, this is definitely something you want to consider purchasing with your gems. Of course, as I said, 850 gems, or, the other option, which I don't want to push you for, but, if you want to save up gems, it's definitely something that you need or would like to have, because if you're going to have very few numbers of your boss monsters, like 1 or 2 copies of your Dragias, this can allow you to get an additional copy of the very expensive monsters that take a lot of grinding to obtain. Though of course you're not going to always have them engraved, but this is still something that will give you a little bit more of an edge, allow you to be able to keep up a bit more against some of the more non-budget friendly duelists. After that, we have some additional leaked cards, yay! Of course, as you can obviously tell, the celebration is going to be basically a free copy of Red Eyes for both Master Rule and Rush Duel, so you're going to get a free copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, you know, a free legend. It's not going to be amazing currently, but it'll definitely be something. In addition to that, we do have some additional leaked cards, which I'm going to believe are the level up rewards for Roa. This is going to be the bane of everyone's existence. King's Majesty. When both monster clear an attack, shuffle level 1 normal monster fiend from engraving deck, negate the attack. It's a free attack negation. I would probably assume similar to Romampic, this is going to be a one of. If they want to give us 2 copies of it or even 3, that's going to be a nightmare. This is one of the few cards I was really having high hopes that we're going to get, because we definitely need something to stop battle phase a little bit, but once again, this is going to be another thing you're want to keep in mind playing around, especially if you're fighting a heavy metal deck, though of course they're not all going to be on the level 1 normal fiends. Some are going to be spellcaster focused or just focused on any other theme that they may play. This is still a very good card currently. Significantly later down the line, this card does lose value heavily, but as of right now, this is really good. It's really good. Just once again, beware of all the back removal. Other than that, we do also have Royal Rebel Shell, which is not fantastic. This is part of an anime gimmick, something that you don't really mind, but if you want more low-level fiends, this is definitely something that you could get. This is more like the level up reward. Other than that, we do have Royal Rebel Fanatic, basically the worst level 1 statted normal fiend we have, but it is a Royal Rebel card by name, so you're going to get it regardless. Lastly, yay, we have the Rogue Magic Tempest. So basically, if you have a level 7 or higher spellcaster, which is going to be 7-0 Magician, send a Wind Hand to the grave, change the battle position of up to 3 monsters your opponent's field. That is all. It's an okay card. It's an okay card. They are going to be, believe they are going to be releasing a skill alongside it, but this isn't really something that you're going to be too gung-ho about obtaining. So if like you want to continue saving up your UR points or gems or whatever they may be called, this is arguably passable, because if anything, you could get 1 copy of this. You definitely don't need 3. You do not need 3. You don't even need 1 of this. This is definitely something you can easily pass up on this current format. It will always be there. You can always get it later. Just know it exists. Well, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope this was a little bit informative to give an idea of what to expect and what you should probably focus on a little bit more in the upcoming update to Duel Links. Yay! I will more than likely be streaming the release of Roa on the day he's released, which I think is the 23rd, which is going to be Thanksgiving for most people. I don't know a current time as of right now. Hopefully, I would like to have it around 6 p.m. EST, probably 7 at worst case scenario. Actually, worst case scenario is probably very late at night, but you will please stay informed by looking in the community section of my YouTube channel and possibly on Twitter, which I'm trying to get more into. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you guys want to continue seeing more explanations of Duel Links updates and potential meta and budget like cards for Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel Links, go ahead, like the video, say it that you do down below, and let's have a little bit of extra fun. What are you very much excited to see from this upcoming update, and what do you want to be playing? Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time.